Hello and welcome to episode 44 of the Boxing Social podcast. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, all of that stuff. No Rob still, but you've got me, Declan Taylor, and we've got the man, once considered by the WBO to be the best super featherweight on the entire face of this planet, Barry Jones.
Unbelievable.
How you doing, Barry?
Rob's not here, but it feels like he is.
Yeah, you get
with a backhanded compliment.
I'm telling you, you get an actual build up from me. I'm not talking about your employment status or any of that.
All I would say
Didn't
was,
bring that in.
All I would say was that somebody thought I was. I wasn't saying I was the best. Someone thought I was the best. No one's ever thought you were the best at what you do.
Well, you say depends what.
What do you?
I am the best at making omelettes in the world, hands down. So, and WBO, they all think the same. The World Boxing Omelette. But you're right.
Well done.
Yeah.
Are you so clever?
Thanks. Anyway, I tell you what, we've got a lot to get through actually, Barry. So we'll dive straight in. We've got. I mean, it was a little bit of I'd say quiet start to the year, but it's really about to rev up. The next few months are mad. Let's start here with the big one, which finally was made at the 11th hour, 12th hour, whatever hour, the latest hour possible. We're going to get Tyson Fury against Dillian Whyte, despite all the arbitration, despite everything in the background. April 23rd at Wembley Stadium. You excited?
Yeah, I am.
You love heavyweights, so that's your problem.
It's a pile of shit, isn't it? Overpaid, all of them. It's a good fight. And it'll be a fun fight.
Is it?
What's that?
Is it a good fight?
I think it'd be a fun fight. I only see one winner, but I think it'd be a fun fight. Dillian Whyte alone makes it a fun fight because he commits to everything he does. You have to. That's why he's earning big money, because he's good, of course, but he commits to every attack. That's why he can also get knocked out. So I think that's the allure with him. But it'll be a fun fight, and the new Fury we're seeing, is also a fun fighter.
Yeah.
He's not the guy who negates what. No, Fury's strength is always used to be. That's what I used to say. I just negate whatever you're good at. I take that away from you. We're frustrating you, making you miss, and then I'll just pick up the points and not take any silly risks because I don't have to, because I'm too good for you, and I'll just pick up the points. And if you look like you're gonna go, if you look like you're gonna go, I'll try and get rid of you. If not, I'll just pick you apart, no problem. And it's all down to you what you can put up with. And that's why sometimes some of his fights weren't always that endearing to the armchair fan. But now the new Fury has found this inner confidence to go. I'll do it. Well, I'll still frustrate you, but as I'm punching your face in, it's a new Fury now. And he thinks I don't need to run around anymore, and we'll never see that Fury again.
No.
Including against him. No, I think we might have a more thoughtful Fury in certain fights, but he's just gone. His last two fights, he's just bullied the biggest puncher on the planet. That's the truth of it. Or he might be raw and make loads of mistakes, Deontay Wilder, but he's still a danger. By the way, he's been dropped. By the way, he still didn't change his tact. He knows he can get up. He has. Again, we talked about this on the previous podcast, where having that. Some boxers, the great fighters, have that ability just to fire under pressure or recover quick, like Kazagi and loads of others. And they just recover, even if you can hurt them, but that's not good enough. Some fighters, they know if you can hurt you, I'll drain your confidence right out of you. You panic, like a Joshua. Joshua's a fantastic fighter, by the way. I think he massively underrated Joshua's skills, but when he gets hit, you can see the confidence drain out of him straight away. When he gets hit with a good shot and hurt, you can see the panic in his work. You can see and you can see now how he's changed his style. But Josh, you don't get that with Fury. You can't just hurt him. He has to stay hurt, and that hasn't happened yet. So I think it's a good fight. So I think it is a fun fight because of that alone.
Do you think the new Fury? I mean, I don't know what angle you want to look at it from, but from every angle, you think Tyson Fury is going to win this fight?
Yeah.
Do you think the new Fury, the new sit down his shots, slightly less mobile but more aggressive, gives Dillian Whyte a better chance of landing something meaningful?
Of course, yes.
Yeah.
Well, obviously it does, yeah. And I think Dillian Whyte will want that. I think with Dillian Whyte, he's not afraid of a fight. And so,
no, that's what he loves.
Yes, and people say it sometimes. I'll fight anyone, and they say it, but you're supposed to say that. I'll fight anyone as long as I'm the boss. But Dillian genuinely thinks, I'll fight anyone, and I don't care he cares if he gets beat, but he's willing to get beat. That's the difference. And that's why we'll give him an opportunity against anyone, because he's willing to take that risk to put you to sleep, knowing that he might get put to sleep right at the same time, or before he gets to you. But he'll do that, and that's why he's pay-per-view. But yeah, I think Fury will. I don't think he'll do the same like he did with Wilder, but because even though he's not as big a puncher as Wilder, there's a different rhythm to to his work, Dillian Whyte, that might cause Fury a bit of trouble. He's a bit shorter for a start, which makes it more difficult to defend against, of course. And that'll be a little bit more adjustments for Fury. But I think adjustment is the key. He is a natural boxer who can think on his feet. And that's difficult to come up against. You want that for anyone. But when you have a heavyweight who can adapt in the ring, then you're in trouble. At the high level. When you can at the highest level, he can adapt. There's 3 ways you can win a fight. There's not 3 ways out Dillian Whyte. And so you have to go to that. Listen, one punch can change a fight, but certainly in that division. But you have to go down to, he has more ways to win than Dillian Whyte does. But I think that's Fury against anybody.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
That's the problem. He has more ways to win against anybody than anybody does. He doesn't just have to box you, he can knock you out now. He doesn't have to get on his toes, he can push you back now. Doesn't have to push you back. He can just stay in the pocket or stay close and move around the target and not. No, he can do that. Pivot. No, he can do that. He doesn't have to. Yay.
Tick. Yeah. What we 6 minutes in? That's tick and pivot. And Calzaghe already ticked off the Barry Jones bingo.
But so he can do all them things. Like that's the difference. Where Dillian Whyte has to be raw aggression. I think with Dillian Whyte, he has to get his jab right.
Right.
In every fight, and he doesn't get it right. He doesn't know which jab to throw. And when I think the jab from the hip is his jab, because it's a fast whipping jab. I used to think the heavyweight got to have a nice tight jab, and it got to come back the same place because it's safe and you're big, and it's got to be hard and fast and solid and hit him on the chest like the old 80s heavyweights, hit him on the chest, knock him off balance. But his is a whipping shot. I think that suits him better. I think he needs that. So especially if he can get a little bit lower. And as Fury comes in with this, because Fury now is not, if Fury had a whipping jab, now Fury's jab is bam.
Yeah.
I have all of my whatever weight he is, 18, 19 stone, whatever he wants to come in at, whap, feel that, 22 stone, bam, feel that. And he's coming forward with that jab now, where before he had a flicking jab because he was always looking to move away. Now he's looking to push you back. That cronk jab, bam, solid, walk through that. A real heavyweight jab he has now. But then if you can get low, and flick your jab, there's still a lot of weight in that, because if you turn that front foot in as well when you throw that flicking jab, that just becomes a jab of speed, and when that little turn of the front foot gives you a little step to get a bit of weight in the shot, and then you walk onto that from an upward angle, it comes up and it's here, then you're in trouble. And then he has that, then because Whyte has speed in his punches, he accelerates, he commits to the shot, so he has to do that. But I just think what he has to do to win is what will also potentially get him in trouble.
Put the pressure on.
Yeah, commit to everything.
Commit to everything.
As he throws in, Fury goes bam, bam.
Yeah.
Or decides to take a step back or a step to the left, a step to the right, and whips an uppercut in or a right hand over the top. And if it's not working for Fury, he's shown he can dog it out. And if that's not working for Fury, he can always, I don't think we'll ever see that again.
Go back to the old one.
Go back to just dancing.
And win easy on points.
Yeah, and just nick the rest of the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't think there's any chance of complacency? He might overlook Dillian Whyte, having gone through everything with Wilder and, looking ahead to big fights. This is, a mandatory and...
Maybe, but he knows Dillian Whyte's good.
Yeah.
I think he knows what this is not like a... Yeah. This
it's
is
not Otto Welling. Yeah.
You've had that now, haven't you? You've had that awakening. And this is a different Fury now than then. He's boxing differently.
Yeah.
No, like I gave him, and when he was with Ben Davison, I gave him and Dad loads of credit in the first Wilder fight. I thought he boxed superb, the right way to him. But obviously we're looking now, and that wasn't the right way anymore, because the way he's fighting now, okay, the last fight against Wilder wasn't, and we're talking about Fury, he's only really boxed one guy, haven't he, in the last sort of 7 years, whatever it is, three years. But the way he boxed in the last fight wasn't that clever. He just thought I could dominate you. I don't mind you catch me now and again. I'll get him and beat you. But the second fight, he boxed him. He's feinting, and pushing him back and bullying him, and he used his physical presence to make you panic. But I don't think Dillian Whyte levels below Wilder, and I don't think Fury will see him as levels below Wilder. He doesn't hit as hard as Wilder, but he's still that sort of. I think he's that sort of level-ish. Might be just a tad below because he hasn't proved it yet to that level. But he's still he's dangerous enough for Fury not to come in complacent. And if he does, he deserves to lose. To be honest, why wouldn't you? But again, the thing with Fury, we only base him off one fighter against one fighter. That's the thing. So can he produce that against a different style?
Where would
I
it?
think he can.
Where would it rank? I mean, I'm not exactly sure. The price is obviously Fury overwhelming favourite. Where would it rank in terms of like upsets if White was to beat him for that WBC
you've
belt?
got to say it's pretty big.
Yeah.
You've got this clearly the most dominant heavyweight in the world.
Yeah.
And maybe the most dominant heavyweight in the world since the last most dominant heavyweight in the world, which was Klitschko, to be honest. So, you know, and even though he haven't boxed them all, but he's done the closest to boxing them all by beating Wilder 3 times. But you know what I mean? But nobody, you have to say, he's like, Joshua's resume is deeper in more opponents of quality, but actually, the Klitschko win, the first one, and obviously the Wilder wins, supersede or everyone else's achievements, I feel, to be honest, because he beat Klitschko, though probably still past his sell-by date at the time, but still a fresher Klitschko than Joshua beat him, just not as the fight wasn't as fun, and he boxed Wilder, who, to be honest, no one really wanted to fight him. Why would you want him? Because he was dangerous, and hugely, and still is dangerous, by the way. I could say about Wilder, he's not finished.
No.
He showed more in our last defeat than he did in all his wins for me. More qualities in our last defeat. He showed he's tough. I didn't think he was tough. I thought he'd be bullied. I thought Usyk would beat him. I thought Usyk would break his hat by making a miss, frustrating him. I'm not so sure now. Because I think his will to win, Wilder, is greater than I thought it was. I just thought he was a typical bully who just had raw power and physical advantages over people with the reach and the height and the size and stuff. That got him out. That just made him dominant and looked like he was destructive. But actually, you put it on him, like he did in the second fight, and he would crumble. But in that third fight, he showed loads of resolve. So he's a danger. But I think it'd be an upset for sure if White wins, and it would be a big upset.
Be a big one.
It would be a big one, yeah, but not the biggest one you've seen.
Yeah.
Not the biggest one this year.
No. With Wilder, obviously freakish power, and he couldn't put Fury away. Even he put him over and still couldn't do it. Has White got the ability to knock him out, knock Tyson Fury out, stop him for 10 seconds?
Of course he has, yeah. I think he does, yeah. I think they all do. See, I think it's not always the harder shots that knock you out. Like, you only go back to what you know. So when I got battered in my last fight, some of the shots I didn't go down with were harder than the shots that I did go down with. So weird. It's weird. I can't figure it out. And some shots you don't see hurt you. Or I've been put down the first time and I wasn't even hurt. Just didn't see it. So they always get knocked in that division because remember they'll come from a different angle.
Yeah,
they'll come up, maybe, or you'll chop down with that right hand over the top. You know, it'd be different punch, different size, different angles, and different speeds of shot. But yeah, I think you have to hit him as clean as to knock him out. I think that's proven. You can't dine out on your chin forever, and I don't think Fury does that. He sort of did in the third fight, then he thought, I know I can take your shots, and if no, I'm going to take it anyway. But yeah, so he can knock him out, but I think that's the only way he wins. So he has to commit, he has to gamble, and gamble early, because the longer he leaves it, the more chance he's going to get tired by getting outboxed and trying to. That's the thing. I think Fury gets it right, where he doesn't overcommit, but doesn't run, and just pushes him back with the jab. Every time White goes to attack, he bangs that jab in him, makes him reset all the time. Whereas before he would do that with the feet and flicking jab and make him reset.
Around, yeah.
Now he's doing that, but every time he hits you with that jab, he's emptying your tank, because getting hit tires you out. Especially a big fella, especially if you get hit in your throat and you miss 3 rounds of that and you're done. At that level, at that weight, that size. Yeah, but I still think it's a fun fight, because solely on White will just commit to everything and make loads of mistakes. He's crude, but that's what makes him fun.
Another fun fight we've got in May. It's officially confirmed, presser imminent, and that's the return of Canelo Alvarez.
I'm looking at the hotels already.
2-fight deal we hear with DAZN, first of which Dmitry Bivol. There was a lot of names in the hat for this one, and also there were another deal on the table with PBC and Charlo and whatever and Benavides. But he's gone this way. Dmitry Bivol, happy with that decision of the sort of Canelo stakes? Happy with this one to be the one that he's chosen?
Not really. I mean, I'm not.
Yeah, I should say for the WBA light heavyweight title.
I'm disappointed. It's a great fight. It's a good fight, you know, and it's a good test for him, of course. But no, it's not the fight that for me as a fan to watch. I'd rather him in against Charlo. To be honest, I think he beats everyone. To be honest, but I think that's a more fun fight for me to watch.
Yeah.
And this fight might be a lot like the Callum Smith fight, where he's giving away loads of advantages and he want to use the jab, but it's weird. He walks around 5'8", 9", whatever he is. He's 9. He's not. I don't think he's that tall, but he walks around like 5'8". Canelo. He gets in the ring and he's 6'3".
Yeah.
His presence is of a 6'3". He's a massive. It's like your shadow. You don't know. You're a giant, aren't you? When you walk down, when you're a little fella, I walk down the road, and sometimes my shadow is like huge. I can't figure it out. I can't fit in that. But that's what Canelo's like. His shadow in the ring is massive. His presence puts you under pressure. So sometimes you'll dip low to do nothing, but just make you feel it. Just affects your breathing, makes you panic, slows you down. And he did that with Callum Smith so well. Without doing loads of work, he made you tired. And he wasn't always pushing you back either. Just a little dip, because you know what he can do. Because his resume, because his reputation precedes him, he's going into fights, and you're already tentative of what he's going to do. You're waiting for him to react more than worrying about your own work. That's the difference. Now, the only one who didn't do that was Golovkin. But then he showed, and I think on the back of that, has made everyone who goes in the ring with him subconsciously scared.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't say because they're not scared. No one's fucking scared. They fight anyway. No, but fighters just so you make a living. But I mean, subconsciously,
you're wary of him.
Yeah. Watch out. Once he makes a move, what's happening here? All the time. Thinking. And that stops you from thinking what you're going to do and makes you panic. And I think Bivol, who can overthink his work at times, might end up not throwing any punches.
You reckon?
Yeah. I mean, I'm over exaggerating, but I mean, might go like Callum Smith.
Yeah. Or like Canelo did against Mayweather, where he just waits too long, never gets anything off.
Oh yeah. Well, they'd love to see that Canelo, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
but that's right. Yeah, but I think it might be that. I think he might step behind the jab a little bit more because he won't move as much as maybe Callum Smith did, but that might make him more of a target to hit. But then I think Canelo, either outpoints him or stops him late. Pretty much that's Canelo's.
Yeah. It's not even as if
go-to result, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's not even as if the jury's out with Canelo how he deals with a bigger guy, because he's already beaten Kovalev up at light heavy. He beat Callum Smith, big 6'3" guy. In fact, I got his record since he beat Chavez. He's boxed Golovkin twice, Rocky Fielding, Danny Jacobs, Kovalev, Smith, Yildirim, Saunders, Plant, and now Bivol. Is some run, isn't it?
I mean, bigger than him. Golovkin's bigger than him.
Yeah.
I mean, middleweight was okay.
Yeah.
But really, he's coming up from weights. That middleweight, you can't really stick a light middleweight, that's fair enough, or super middleweight, that's fair enough. But for these super middleweights and all that, like that, but he's there now because he's made the weight, and he's to put it on through weight training and all that.
Yeah, they're all big guys.
They're too big for him, really. Yeah. But he's just so good.
Yeah.
He's just so good.
And what about Bivol? It sort of gone backwards slightly, certainly treading water for a while now. He, had there was a big buzz about him, and it's sort of but he might be maybe the fighter where he gets a fight like this, and this is what brings. But
he's that sort of fighter, isn't he? I'm good, I'm shit. I'm good, I'm shit. I'm good, I'm shit. I'm good, I'm shit. He's that sort of fighter.
Sounds like me making omelettes.
Making love, I thought you were going to say. but yeah, I think he's that sort of fighter. But, I don't know whether it's motivation or just the fact that you're always just thinking about safety first. I don't know what it is, but like a lot of Eastern Europeans or Eastern Bloc or whatever you want to call them type of fighters, they sometimes just need a little more injection of pace into some of their work. So a little bit more urgency at times. I mean, they're technically really good, and they go through and they're methodical with this stuff, which can make them effective. But sometimes you need a little bit more. Come on, just where's the second gear to go for snap, 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 and now and again he'll do that, but not often enough. So, like against anyone who fights Canelo, you got to get it. Everything's got to be perfect for you. And maybe he has to be underperformed.
Canelo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is inevitable.
Yeah, do you think he's got one of them in him?
Well, Canelo.
It'll pop up at some point.
Plant wasn't.
Yeah.
Plant we underperformed, I feel.
Yeah.
Well, you got to give Plant his credit. He was tougher than what we thought, more resolve, and he boxed well. And Canelo won the fight, and he won it fair enough, and he stopped, and he would have won it anyway on points. But it wasn't a vintage performance. But I think he has that arrogance now. He don't have to box well. I think he feels he can stop you. Now, if he felt he left it too late. But against Callum Smith, he doesn't do a lot. He doesn't he doesn't download data, like people say, because that's no such fucking thing. But
he just gets on with it.
Just make you work. Well, I'm looking at you, and I'm looking.
Certainly with the Saunders fight, that's what he looked like. He didn't.
Exactly.
He didn't
even the rounds, even sometimes he's losing, you just think you never feel like he's losing the fight, but he's losing a few rounds, and But yeah, I just can't see Bivol beating him. I can't see anyone beating him.
Really?
And,
So those the list that was sort of flying about. Obviously, we had the Charlie Benavidez. Beterbiev's always on the list in that one. Makabu turned up as a sort of option up at cruiserweight.
Beats Makabu.
Yeah, I agree. What about Beterbiev? Obviously, another light heavyweight champion.
I think he beats Beterbiev, actually. I think that's the harder fight for him because he is really tough and rough. But he can be hurt, by the way.
We've seen it, yeah.
Yeah, but it's a lot of it, he's got bad balance, Beterbiev. But he's physically strong and that. I think that's the hardest fight for him, I think, out of all of them. Because he might just like stamp his flag in the middle and go, come on, then let's have it. And Canelo will love that. But then people forget Canelo could dance and move and dance around and be pretty when he wants to be as well, by the way. But he walks through Golovkin's punches. You've got to go back to that. And he looks fresher now than he ever did.
He does, doesn't he?
I don't know how how that's possible, but he does. But he walks through Golovkin's punches. Even though I didn't think he won the first, I didn't think he won the second fight. But either way, can I say it again?
Go on.
He walked through Golovkin's punches. That's enough. Who does that? Like that was the biggest thing for me. Like the fact that he got caught flush more than once, and the kid didn't blink. So how would you cannot box him? You can't knock him out. Well, you can only outbox him. But that's your best hope, isn't it? I don't see. But then the bigger guys maybe have a chance to hurt him, at some point. Or if his presence... That's the thing I always thought, moving up in weights, that's why I thought give Callum Smith half a chance, more than Billy Joe, because I thought maybe that physical... The presence of Canelo, when he feints and that, might not intimidate the bigger guy. It's like when you spar bigger people, sometimes you can't get away with... You would know what it's like because you're a giant, but all your little moves you do with smaller guys, even though they're bigger than you, some of them, they're aware you're setting them up. When they're bigger, they're so big, they're not aware of it because you're too far away or you're too small to worry about. They just don't. So your things don't have the same. You have to make them. The effects have to be all with the punches, which then puts you in a range to get hit yourself. But Canelo still has that presence, even with these bigger guys, where he does all the work. Like I said, he dips down. Sometimes he doesn't do anything. Once he dips down, still has that front foot forward. You're expecting something, and he'll just come back up. So he sort of looks at you, and he dips over you, he steps inside your shot, brings that front foot forward, and then just walks away. But you've gone,
yeah,
and that's drained your energy because your breathing's changed and you've panicked and everything's quicker and you're reacting, you're not in your flow, and you've had to reset yourself, and it all takes a bit out of you. And he's so clever at it. So
okay then, if Dmitry Bivol turns up in your gym on Monday, says Barry, train me for this fight.
Yeah.
What do you do with him? How would you prepare him to fight Canelo? How would you possibly go about beating him based on Bivol's skill set? Good feet, powerful guy. Good boxing IQ, he's kind of got it all. What do you do with him? Where do you steer him towards to try and get through this fight?
I'm not training.
You close the door, won't you? You can clear off.
Can I say 20%? I think you've got to have a solid jab. But Canelo's head move was so good. But you've got to have a solid jab.
He almost wants you to jab though, doesn't he? Because you work off it.
But yeah, and also because he's short, it's hard to jab him at the chest where you want to stop the movement. But your jab's got to be solid. I think you got to commit to the jab. But all I do is when he got close to me, I would go chest to chest, and my arms go underneath, and I would hold on, and I wouldn't let him work inside, and I try and push and lean on him, all that stuff, to do as best you can. I wouldn't let him work up in close when you got close, and I would always be working the jab, solid jab, and I wouldn't be like spinning because he spins with you. But I would jab and little movements to the left. Jab and little movements to the left. Just keep him turning slightly. Not the big movements. He likes to spin fast, Canelo. So when you do that pivot, yes. But he'll go with. He loves that because he got such a quick brain. He'll go with you quick, and he almost, even though you started first, he'll get there first before you. And he's there and he'll fire back. If you take little steps, like Carl Zaggy did. I'm joking.
He did that.
I mentioned him 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
No, if you do little steps, then he might not notice it so much when you are moving on the target. But if you can get a double jab on him, then you got a chance to hit him with the right hand. But I don't know. I think it takes a lot of thought. If I would have known, I would have sat down and tried to get a game plan to beat him.
Yeah.
Because Saunders' plan was, you think Saunders had that idea? Because southpaw, fast hands, moves away quick. But that
still gets you, doesn't he?
Because what he does, he boxes you in the corner. He boxes you in the corner. You can't stay in the corner. And then when you fight back, because he leans back as well. So I think that double jab with the step, you might be able to read the jab, but I think you have to step with it as well because you have to close the distance. Because the first one's probably not going to hit or barely touch it. because he likes to step back and fire. But if you go bam bam really quick every time and then take a little step to the side, you might have some range with the right hand, because you might just be on the outside of his jab, possibly. You have to go that way though, wouldn't you? That's fucking right. It don't work, do it?
Back to the drawing board.
Yeah, don't ask.
You're going to have to send old Dmitry back, ain't you? Send him packing.
If I could Adam Booth here. He'd know, he's a trainer.
So it looks like, well, this is May, so he's back in May, September, back in the old Mexican groove, twice a year job.
Yeah.
It looks like Golovkin, the second fight of that deal. What do you reckon there? Repeat or revenge? I mean, the thing is, I don't know, first of all, how did you sort of see the first two?
I thought Golovkin won fair and square.
Both? First one?
I thought he won the two of them.
Yeah, okay.
But I did not. But
second one, he closed the gap, didn't he, in terms of...
Second one, I thought Golovkin won by... I think I had Golovkin by 2 points. Right. So which means it's a close enough fight to not argue.
Yeah.
And that's fair enough. The first one, I thought Golovkin won fair, clear. Maybe 4 points maybe, and I thought he was hard done by. Some people didn't see it that way, apparently, but I thought it was only one winner. The second one, I thought he won again, but it was close enough, because I think Canelo was a lot better. There's only one winner in the third one, though. The one's been active and is younger.
And getting better.
Yeah, and the other one hasn't been active and is getting older.
Yeah.
But he was old when he boxed the first time, to be honest. I don't know what the ages were, but he looked like, that second fight, that would probably be Golovkin's last, to me. So I don't know. Golovkin's always a try. But I think those two are the perfect dance partners. It'll be a great fight. And I want to go to that, by the way, as well. I'll do my very best.
Check those flights.
I'll do my very best to get to that one. Because that's a fun fight. I think them two always have a good, entertaining fight, because they both got great chins. I mean, probably the best chins in the boxing. Them two, maybe add a couple of others in, but arguably them two are the best chins in world boxing right now, because you can't hurt them.
And huge for DAZN.
That's a massive fight for them, especially
both of them,
especially for the States.
Because we hear that PBC made a real serious offer with Charlo and Benavidez. That carrot, and we know Canelo now is sort of free agent, floats about, does what he wants, and it's huge for DAZN, who obviously are seemingly under the cosh, and they're spending a lot of money, and they need to get results, but they got the big one back.
Like it's easy to say with DAZN, they got all the money in the world. They seem to have.
Yeah.
But it's still a business.
Of course, yeah.
You can't just keep throwing money in the river, can they? At some point, they got to go, hang on, we got to stop this. And that's the worry for them. I want all boxing to be on one channel. And Barry Jones.
Boxing Social
with Barry Jones. And but I want to. You do. Ideally, it'd be great, all in one place.
Yeah.
But while they'll all go, I don't want to pay extra subscriptions for anything. I certainly don't pay pay-per-view to watch Canelo. That's the difference. I don't want to pay that. I don't think we should pay that.
Well, no pay-per-view here. We should say that on DAZN for us. In America, they're sticking it. Pay-per-view not dead.
No, well, that's weird.
Very much alive and kicking.
Well, it was sort of the thing is, they want so much money. I can understand, but they want so much money. How do you pay for it? Just tell him he can't have as much, but you can't tell him because he can just go to Showtime money. So to compete, you have to do it. But then they must have known that when they set up the business.
You would think so.
Yeah, you can't trust anyone in anything. Certainly in boxing, anyone. And that's not. Listen. We're moaning about DAZN, but we're still paying. We pay a subscription for BT, we pay a subscription for Sky, and then we pay for pay-per-view for whatever else they put on that they want, like pay pay-per-view for two retired fighters in Khan and Brook. Yeah. Technically. They're not, obviously, Brook's flying now and he wants to fight everyone, but that's what it was. You have to pay extra for that. And you would, and you were happy to, and you wanted to watch the fight, but DAZN's just the same thing. Except it's on an app, and then you tend to think that having it on your phone, having it with you all the time, sort of went against the whole thing of going away from the traditional route of what other channels are doing. So, but either way, having Canelo's a huge draw all around the world, but certainly in the States for them, because the Hispanic market has historically been the biggest market for pay-per-view buys. That's why all the fights are on the two Mexican holidays, of course, because it's based around them. And also, you say it's $80, and it sounds a fortune, and it is, or $100, some of them. But their sporting events are more a social event than ours. Not for everyone. Some people are nomads, like lonelies like me. But they're more like the Super Bowls, all the things. They all go to people's houses to watch. So I guess it's the same with the fight. So it's say $100, we wouldn't pay £100 over here. Yeah. But most of us watch boxing on our own, don't we? Let's be honest. Yeah.
On an app, crying.
Yeah. On an app, yeah, that don't work.
Well, sticking with our app, sticking with DAZN. I mean, this is a good one for you. Chocolatito's back.
Yeah. Good fight, though, isn't it?
Well,
it's a great fight, but it's a fucking hard fight.
Yeah. Go on. Explain. Well, we should say. So he's supposed to fight Estrada again.
Yeah.
Estrada got COVID, as far as we know.
Yeah.
Pulled out. So they got Martinez in, who looks a real, a serious talent.
He's
stepping up.
He's stepping up in weight. But considering that Gonzalez has started at a lower weight than he had, with the size.
And to be honest, has not looked at times his best up at Superfly. It's not his division, but he's gone there for the prestige, the legacy, and everything else.
Gonzalez got to be at the end of his career now, because you can't, especially the way he fights.
Yeah,
like I love him, you know that, but like he's just poetry in motion. But you can't fight like that for that. I couldn't believe what he did in the last Australia fight, but he clearly won.
Yeah,
like I talk about robberies, that for me was a huge one. But he looked great there, but you just think the way he fights, because he got to take shots, because he slips and slides all the time. He's always on you, and the energy he puts into all his fights. The way you must have to train for that. Though a lot of it now is muscle memory, so he's obviously used to it. But the way you have to train for that, there's no longevity.
I'll take it out of you, innit?
I said there's no longevity in there, but there is for him. He's a freak of nature. The great fighters are freaks of nature, aren't they? But this is a hard fight. He's up against a kid in Martinez who can punch, but also throws lots of punches. That's the worry for me. So I don't worry about Gonzalez being with a puncher, because even if he takes a shot, he can ride the shot really well. And because he has that constant pendulum motion with his head and his shoulders, he's always a moving and he's always coming closer, so he'll smother your work and he'll work around the target. So, and he's constantly on you. So sometimes he takes a good shot and he just works his way out of trouble. But with Martinez, he fires lots of shots and they're all hard, and he fires in spurts, and every time you throw a punch he goes bam bam with 3s and 4s, and that makes it really hard at this stage of his career for Gonzalez. That might be the worst style for him to come up against.
You think?
Yeah. I got Gonzalez for the win. I can't go against him, can I?
No, it's the resident.
Like a religious thing.
Gonzalez fan.
He's always good enough until he's not.
Yeah.
I think, but when he's not...
But it looked like he reached that point, didn't it, some time ago? It looked like he reached the peak and he was on his way down, but he's still hanging in there. But this looks like a real dangerous one.
But this might be literally another... I wouldn't say they're passing the bat, but this might be just the wrong fight at the wrong time, wrong stage of his career. Because Martinez is strong and big, and also because Gonzalez is brilliant, but he doesn't go back. He does go back, but really his strength is pushing you back with pressure, making you work all the time with his feet. We always say this, but that's what he does. But his head movements all constantly, so he's almost always in range, but making you miss and always firing back off every mistake you make. But and also he doesn't load up with anything. That's why he can punch so many punches, because he doesn't load up with lots of shots. But so everything's smooth and rhythm. It's always, and he's moving from the shoulders. Everything's easy and smooth and just lovely to his work. It's just the poetry in motion. But I'm not sure if that's going to be a massive deterrent for Martinez.
No, might play into his hands.
Yeah, I think so. And also, how many punches can you keep taking for Gonzalez? At this stage of his life, forget about his career, just his life, his age alone. Was he 38?
Yeah.
And that's my biggest worry. But Martinez is not. I think he's good and he hits really hard, but he can be crude, and he can be caught. So I think he'll come in. It'll be the biggest test he has, and can he cope with that sort of pressure? Because that's a pressure he's never had before. Someone like Gonzalez in front of you, or not in front of you, on you, but not in front of you. Actually on you, but always here and there, and always constantly throwing punches. And even when you hit him with a good shot, he's still going to continue throwing punches, and that'll be hard. So I think Gonzalez, if he's still fresh enough, can get through it. But,
you do.
Yeah, but I'm also can see him laid on his back.
Yeah, I can see you. I can see you not too.
I just worry about. I just think the timings of the fight are great for him. Yeah,
for this style.
If
you
it's the wrong style for him. Like, at 38 and all the fights he's had, this is the worst fight that he could have possibly had.
Really,
I think so.
Yeah, but what if it had been Estrada? If Estrada hadn't got COVID and it was still that one, what would you?
I think Gonzalez beats him again.
He
beat him the last time like he did the first time. I just again, there's another fight because Estrada could beat. That's how good these fighters are. This weight. There's no shocks.
No, of course, yeah.
Nothing's a shock. Whoever wins, there's no like, it's an upset. Not really, is it? Because they're that good. But yeah, I just think the pressure that Gonzalez can put on you, because he has so much fluency in his work that it's just hard to deter. Because when do you get? Because you sometimes you think, just keep doing this, because in the end he's going to get tired.
Yeah.
You'll do that to fighters. They can't keep doing this forever, you can't keep throwing those big punches before he gets knackered. But that'll happen to Martinez. His tank will empty if he keeps throwing hard shots and missing or not having no effect. He'll get tired. But Gonzalez doesn't get tired. Even when he's getting bashed, like hurt a little bit. You've seen a few fights where he's gone hurt. He just carries on. Like, just the fluency, the rhythm in his work, everything about it just keeps going. That's what he looks like to me. That's the noise. When he's fighting, that's the noise.
Yeah.
With the movement, the punches, it's that noise for me. Just like, it's brilliant.
You've got to take your hat off really to Martinez for stepping in for this one.
Yeah. Late
notice and whatever else, but it does suggest that obviously he's going to be confident, but it must suggest that they all go, he's there for us. And this is spot on. You've
got to say, did I say this about recently? I said I'll just keep betting against him because of his age. How many it was? Every time he fights, I'll keep betting.
Because he's going to lose eventually.
Yeah, because he got to, because of the age alone.
Someone will get him, yeah.
Yeah, who's that? I can't remember who that was now. I said I'll just keep going against him because he can't go on forever. You can't keep that level of excellence there. So yeah, you understand that. Let's get him now. That's why. But I think he might have one big one left in him. But I don't know. But maybe that was the last fight.
Yeah.
Where he should have won.
And Martinez, what do you think of him going forward? Obviously very young and exciting, powerful kid, and
he is.
Small.
Yeah.
How big can he go? How good can he be?
Well, there's loads of fights around there for, isn't
there?
Yeah. Estrada, Cuadras.
Yeah.
The other kid who won recently, his name, I can't think of the top of my head. There's some really.
I mean, he's still got Sonny Edwards calling him out.
Oh, Sonny's a nightmare for him, though.
Yeah. Yeah. See, this is a very good point.
Sonny's a nightmare for him.
Yeah.
Sonny's a nightmare for anyone. Massively underrated. Now, everyone's seen him get beat now because he's a knob on Twitter.
Yeah.
He's a really intelligent kid, right? And a nice kid, by the way. Not a kid, he's a man, but in a kid's body. There's very few people like to say that.
He's going to come for you.
There's very few people like to say that. Being my size. But he's very clever.
Of course, yeah.
People go, you can't punch, but his movement, sort of gives him whatever. I know Top Trump, remember Top Trump? Yeah. And you had so much for this, so much for that. But his movement's 110%. So his punch might only be 40%. But he got so much movement. And because it's not just the constantly move, it's clever movement. He said, just cut him off. Well, good luck, go and cut him off then. Just cut the ring off. Yeah, I think go and cut the ring off. You see what happens. You will cut the ring off and he will step on your toe and spin right round you and slap you on the backside. Where are you? That's how clever his movement is. He almost sets you up to cut him off. That's how good he is. He sets you up to cut. He makes you think you're cutting him off to only break your heart. And that's what he does. He's clever. He makes mistakes at times. No one can be flawless. No one can make. It's just to stay concentrated for 36 minutes is a difficult thing to do. So he's been hurt. He's been dropped before, and the glancing blow, nothing serious damage. But he's been caught a few times. But I wasn't sold on him at the beginning. I thought there's another kid with all this movement, boxing with his hands down, steps up a level, he gets caught. And he boxed Ryan Farag. Farag was good back then. And it was New York Hall, I remember I was working it. And he stood him on his head. I don't say lower level than what he's at now, but at that time, that was a real step up for him. And maybe a step or two. And this is where this cocky kid's going to get found out now. And he literally broke his soul. He did right into him, took his heart out like that. It was unbelievable. He just boxed so. It just this kid's special. This kid's special. I found him first. That's what I felt. I found this kid first.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, so it's good, and he's in that right weight. He can move up. I think
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in the mix with all those guys, and So I think he beat Martinez.
Do you?
Yeah, 10.
At Superfly.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Because I don't think the weight's
yeah.
I think people are going. I don't mean you got a strong fighter. Wait till he moves up in weight, but his strength might not be as effective.
Yeah, Martinez only just going up.
The boxer has more chance as long as he's not too small. The boxer got more chance. Because the skill. You need the skill to move up. It's not all about strength and power to move up, because sometimes if you dine out on strength and power, the more weight you move up, the less effective. That has to be less effective, unless you've got God-given power. But strength, you see loads of fighters who are strong at welterweight, move up the like super welter, light middle, and then their strength's gone, and then they're rubbish. All of a sudden, they've been exposed because they haven't got it. That's sometimes you see fighters who caught in between two weights. And then, you'd be a great welterweight, you can't make. But when you got good boxers move up, as long as they're not too small, then they're fine. They're fine. I think Sonny would be no problem. It's only a couple of pounds. I know for us little fellas, a couple of pounds is a huge difference, but
they do jump around a lot down there.
But they have to as well.
Yeah.
It's a struggle to make flyweight for any person. Let's be honest. But I think he's fine. I think he'd be fine. I think he beats Martinez at either weight. Though Martinez could knock him out in 10 seconds. So that's as well. He could be carted out on a stretcher. You could see that as well. But I think the very best of Martinez, the very best of Edwards, has Martinez sat in the corner crying, "Why won't he let me hit him?" I think that's what happens.
Yeah.
I don't know if
frustrates him like that.
I'm a big fan of Edwards.
Yeah.
What he struggles with is Gonzalez.
Okay.
Edwards.
Yeah.
Because you've got a guy who's light on his feet.
I thought you were going to say he struggles with Twitter criticism then.
Oh, no, he loves that.
No, he loves that. He's the king of it. He's the goat.
What you got to say about him?
Yeah.
But someone like that who has that fluency to his work, who never tires, and also light on his feet. So when you spin, he spins with you. And that's what Gonzalez do. That's what he'd struggle. But as someone like a Martinez who fires in bursts, even though they're hard and strong, he has to set himself to do it. And and he's really fast, Martinez, with his combinations. But he throws from his hips at times, doesn't he, Martinez? And I just think that Edwards would go spin the shoulders, and as he's going back like Sonny, he's moving his feet. But he's already thinking, I'm going 2 steps back, and then I'm turning on the last one, just when you throw that big shot, and it goes sailing by.
While we're at these weights, why not? Let's mention Galawia fight, who's here now, gold medalist, straight into a 10-rounder, won by stoppage. Where do you see him settling? Where do you see his level, his ceiling?
Who knows?
The third of the third and final. Your fight brother.
Yes, right.
He looks just as devastated and dangerous as the other two.
It's similar, actually, in every way. I mean, similar already. He's going to be in fun fights because he's so focused on hurting you that he gets hit. So he has to be careful of that because he got hit. That's a massive step up for your first fight. But he got hit a few times because he's throwing punches. He takes the shots well. That was fine, but they have to be careful not rushing him too quick. But that's not going to happen because they're rushing him too quick. I think there's a worry. I think Eddie Hearn is where Frank Warren was a while back with Box Nation. It's different though. They got a bigger budget, but so they desperately need a flag bearer for their channel. Like I know they might have Joshua. They haven't got Joshua, really. But they're looking for they're pushing more world champions. We need more world champions. More world champions. We need more world champions. But we don't push people too soon. Now, Galawia fight, that's a big statement to make for your first fight. And a bit Olympic gold medalist, maybe that's what you need. Maybe that's what is warranted. But it means you can't go anywhere else now. You can't feed him anyone else. Because they will, but the kid's going to get criticism now for whoever else. If he don't step up, he's getting criticism. And he can't step up. You got to have an easier fight. Or a fight at that level. That guy was okay. For your debut, it was too good. But it was okay. But, you can't go below that now, can he? That's the problem. But the criticism he's going to get is immense, unless they don't care about that, which is fine. But
yeah, I mean, you can't box every month or every 6 weeks in 10 rounders like that, can you? When you might want to when you turn someone over like that, like Siobhan Clark might box regularly, but
maybe he's getting paid too much. They don't want him boxing every month. You know what I mean? That's the thing. But you also got a gold medalist, and you got to exploit that, haven't you? You got to keep that attention going. You got to roll it out, sort of thing. Otherwise, you lose the momentum of his success, if you will. In being a gold medalist, that's the selling point for selling shows, I would imagine. Maybe. But he looks a talent. He looks good. He got nice fast hands. He hits hard, and I think and a good engine. So I think he'll be good. What a family that is.
Do you think he will end up right at the top tier, mixing it with the likes of this lot? It might.
Well, they'll all be.
They'll be done by then. But I mean, in terms.
I hope Eddie's not rushing him to try and get to him now.
Yeah.
That's the worry. Because they're all sort of on the zone-ish, aren't they? And the zone-ish, that's a new channel. That's a new channel.
That's the second app.
Yeah, that's the second.
Cheaper.
The zone-ish. It's cheaper.
Yeah.
But together, hoping that they'll all pass the sell-by date when he gets there, which might work, man, and be fantastic. But I don't think that's the case. So yeah, he might just wait till they're all gone. It's a new breed, and he can just dominate, maybe. But who knows? It's too early to say. It's just ridiculously too early to say. Like he looked good. He looked really good. He got caught a few times, which no shame in that. But he looked good. He looks a talent, and I think he's going to be in fun fights. That's the biggest seller for him. He's going to be in fun fights because he's like his brothers, too aggressive at times. Yeah, Sometimes they negate this, they forget about their skill and want to just go out and demolish you. It happened to Gamal.
Yeah.
Against what's his name now? Bless him. Cunningham.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he just went head down trying to destroy him and got outboxed and hurt.
Mm. So final word on this division then. What's your prediction then? Your heart says Chocolatito.
Yeah.
Head says Martinez.
No.
Everything says.
Yeah.
Everything says Martinez.
Yeah. I'm massively confident in that prediction. I do think. I think he might just. I think he might just know enough.
He will know enough.
Yeah.
Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Yeah. Points job.
Oh yeah.
Distance job.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I can feel this is painful for you.
It's horrible. Yeah. There's always that caveat that he's just gone. That he's too old. That's the worry.
I mean, he's been doing it a while, hasn't he?
Too long.
Yeah.
Too long, actually, to a point where I'm worried he's not going to be able to enjoy his money. But the thing is, he's not earning that money. The fact that Can and Brook have earned more, probably either one of them earned more than Gonzalez probably in his whole career. It's just crazy. I'm not digging them out, but he's far superior fighter to all of those.
Yeah.
As good as they are, by the way. That's how good he is. They're fantastic fighters, but he's far superior. Chisola's earned more money than Gonzalez. That's sinking. Coming for you, Derek.
Yeah, you got the Derek in there as well.
Derek, I need that insurance money there. I need to sue you. No, but it's mad, isn't it?
It's true.
It's just, and many other fighters, it's just like that he should literally be wiping his ass with $100 bills, Gonzalez, for how good he is, how good he's been, and what he's done. And I think he's fighting because he's not.
Yeah.
I don't know what he gets. I know it's more than what I've got. But I mean, it's not enough. And the fact that he's still fighting now is probably an indication that it's not enough.
Mm. All right, well, we'll leave it there, Barry. Thanks again for your time. And thanks so much for watching. As always, like, comment, subscribe, all of that business. And we'll see you next time.